Let's keep it. I have tea on my hand. Happy Sunday morning, guys. Welcome back.
Hello. How is everybody? I bet, damn, I can see my breath. It's cold.
It is cold.
We're going to drop that a little bit so we don't blow out people's eardrums.
That's why I got my wool socks on.
You think they can see that?
Oh, yeah.
Just me going,
Oh, exhausted. We were
There's
up till
steam just rolling off us. Yeah, we're up to what, 3:30 a.m.?
3:30.
yeah.
At a diaper party. Holding a cell phone for somebody as they do questionable things.
There we are.
Yeah, we are live, though, guys. Live, potentially hungover.
I'm just sleep deprived.
Yeah, that's me too.
Not a football Sunday without feeling like shit, right?
I mean, yeah, being sleep deprived.
I haven't had a good 8 hours of sleep in like a week. I've just been on the go.
Saturday, I had 11 hours of sleep.
What's up, Jolie?
Good morning, Yosef. You silly son of a bitch.
We were out till like 12, 1 o'clock on Saturday, I think. Or we got back,
Friday?
Yeah, Friday.
No,
we got back till
we got
back
back
around midnight.
We got back at 11. Heather was home by midnight.
Oh yeah,
Because you pulled in. Guys, another week of fantasy football talk. Good morning, Brandon. Brandon Pendleton's in as well on the Twitch stream. Sorry that we took off the week last week. I realized that I did not bring half of what I needed to be able to go live.
Oh yeah, and we can't go live without your stuff. So unless we did it off a cell phone.
Yeah, I realized that was my only option as well, was the cell phone, and we were a little bit banged up in Key West. Injuries, though, this week, guys. Arizona Cardinals play on Monday. Zach Allen, defensive end, he is questionable with an illness. Offensive tackle Rashad Coward is ruled out. Cornerback Byron Murphy ruled out with a back injury. Wide receiver Rondell Moore ruled out with a groin injury. Defensive end Jonathan Ledbetter is questionable. Zach Ertz officially is done for the season with his ACL and MCL injury. Safety Charles Washington is questionable. Atlanta Falcons are a bye this week. I was like, what's that? It's letting me know Gary shared the video. Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson is not expected to suit up. He's doubtful with a knee injury. Probably going to miss at least 2 games. Quarterback Daryl Worley was placed on the IR with a hamstring. Guard Kevin Zeitler is questionable with a knee. Linebacker Delshawn Phillips, fuck that guy, questionable with a quadricep. What?
I thought you I'll tell you, I was gonna tell you later.
Is it who's on the phone? PUSS plus.
I guess I heard us talking about him.
Yeah, Delshawn Phillips is a piece of shit. Former Buffalo Bill. I drove him in my Uber once when I was Ubering.
Yeah.
He was bitching about being Buffalo the whole time. Bitch, we're paying your check. Shut your mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really.
Guard Patrick McCarry is questionable with a toe. Linebacker Christian Welch questionable with a concussion. Linebacker Patrick Queen questionable with a thigh. Quarterback Jalen Armour Davis is placed in the IR. Will not return this year. Wide receiver Tyline Wallace is placed in the IR as well with a hamstring. That'll do it for Baltimore. The Buffalo Bills, Deion Dawkins questionable with an ankle. Linebacker Matt Milano questionable with a knee. Fullback Reggie Gilliam out with an ankle injury. I didn't even know he got hurt.
I didn't know he got hurt either, yeah.
So did Milano all of a sudden.
Yeah, but Milano at least is just questionable with a limited participation. Defensive tackle Jordan Phillips is out this week with a shoulder injury. I also didn't know he got hurt last game.
No, I didn't.
Von Miller is done for the year. Jameson Crowder planning to be back in action by late December for Buffalo.
It'll be awesome.
Defensive end AJ Epinesa out again. And Gregory Soto out again this week.
That's not good.
Not good, yeah.
What is Rousseau's problem?
It says ankle. I don't know if this is correct. ESPN has them both listed as out, but also says they're full participants on Monday at practice. So they might not be out. ESPN just might be drunk.
As you said, they practiced all week.
I don't know. ESPN sucks. Carolina Panthers, Corey Littleton, questionable with an ankle. Cornerback Miles Hartsfield, questionable with an ankle. Safety Xavier Woods, no, not the pro wrestler, questionable with a knee. Defensive tackle Matt Ioannidis, questionable with a calf. Quarterback P.J. Walker out with an ankle. Cornerback Dante Jackson still in the IR. Chicago Bears are on a bye this week? Chicago Bears are on a bye this week.
Yeah. Bless you.
Ow. Shit. Cincinnati Bengals. A little bit banged up here for the Bengals. Hayden Hurst is out this week with a calf. Safety Brandon Wilson out with a knee. Chidobe Awuzie still out, cornerback. Cleveland Browns, Amari Cooper is a game-time decision. Could be good for us, being that, Gary, you and I were Jalen Darden fans.
Yeah, and they claimed him on the waiver wire.
Yeah, so hopefully we get to see some Jalen Darden.
We hated him in Tampa because he was
buried on the depth chart. And all they ever did was have him return kicks. So you got to wonder if he asked them, like, hey, if you're not going to use me, can you cut me?
Yeah, maybe.
Wide receiver Anthony Schwartz, who was the wide receiver 3 and their punt returner, he's been placed in the IR with a concussion, so he'll be out at least 4 games. Jalen Darden might be thrust into action sooner than later. What a way to step forward and come out swinging than first game of the new team, hopefully. Linebacker Sion Takitaki is out. Sion Takitaki.
I see it. I just don't believe it.
He's out for the year with his knee injury. Center Ethan Pochik as well out with a knee injury. Jolie says they've been on a bye all year. Dallas Cowboys, cornerback Anthony Brown placed in the IR with an Achilles injury. Linebacker Leighton Vander Esch questionable with a illness. Offensive tackle Tyron Smith has been designated for return from the IR. He's been practicing this week. And that'll do it for the Cowboys. The Denver Broncos cornerback Kawan Williams is out with a knee. Defensive end Ayuama Uwazurik is questionable. Maybe they'd put him on the list just to make me say that name.
Pretty much.
Linebacker Dakota Allen is out with a hamstring. Wide receiver KJ Hamler will not play again during the season. He is on the IR with a setback from his hamstring injury. Defensive tackle DJ Jones questionable with a shoulder. Tight end Andrew Beck out with a hamstring. Wide receiver Cortland Sutton out with a hamstring. Not that Russ Wilson's going to throw much, but that opens up Jerry Jeudy quite a bit today.
Yeah.
Linebacker Justin Stranad questionable. Guard Dalton Reisner questionable. That'll do it for the Broncos. Detroit Lions. Cornerback Chase Lucas placed in the IR. Center Evan Brown is doubtful. Guard Coyote Owasika is out with an ankle. This is the all names team today. Cornerback Nate Sudfield questionable with an illness. Cornerback Jeff Okuda questionable with an illness. Safety Will Harris questionable with a hip. Linebacker Derek Barnes out with a knee. Wide receiver Khalif Raymond questionable with an illness. That'll do it for Detroit. Green Bay Packers, they suck. But they're also on a bye.
Both of those statements are true.
Fuck you, Frank. I can't wait till he comments. What did I do? He did. Did y'all see the picture of me with Domingo on Instagram?
Yeah.
Did you see Frank comment?
No, I didn't.
Is that real?
Oh, yeah.
No, Frank, it's a fucking plastic flamingo that I put in my lawn, you idiot.
It's a plastic
Is
thing.
that real?
I can't find it. What I was looking for.
Houston Texans play today. I mean, we'll loosely say they play today. They're playing the Cowboys. That's going to be an absolute blowout. Guard Justin McCray out with a hamstring. Defensive tackle Kurt Hinish out with a shoulder. Defensive end Troy Hairston out with a rib. Quarterback Derek Stingley out with a hamstring. Wide receiver Nico Collins out with a foot. Wide receiver Brandon Cooks out with a calf. Basically, they're not playing anybody today.
Yeah, right.
So, I think I actually...
need Jordan Akins to go off.
Yeah, me too.
I had to sit. I have so many people on a bye this week. I have Montgomery. I have Cooks out. I have Khalil Herbert. I have fucking Brian Robinson on a bye. Huntley on a bye. And then the Washington defense on a bye.
The Indianapolis Colts are on a bye this week. The Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, who was questionable all week, is expected to suit up this week versus the Titans. Safety Andre Sisco is questionable with a shoulder. Linebacker Chad Muma is out with an ankle.
Muma.
It's a kid from
We
Wyoming.
always say that name because he's always out.
No, it's the first time I've said his name all year.
Last year, though.
He was a rookie this year.
Why did we...
It's a kid from Wyoming. Wide receiver Zay Jones is questionable with a chest injury caused by jumping through a glass window. What?
Oh, no.
Kansas City Chiefs Kadarius Toney is out with his Swiss cheese hamstring. Guard Joe Thuney questionable with an ankle. Wide receiver Mecole Hardman could return next week from the IR. Las Vegas Raiders Jermaine Alamanur questionable. They played the other night. Okay. LA Chargers Joey Bosa will be reevaluated on if he can come off the IR. Tight end Richard Rodgers was placed in the IR. I didn't know he was still in the league. Tackle Trey Pipkins III is doubtful. Defensive tackle Sebastian Joseph Day is doubtful. Cornerback Bryce Callahan is doubtful. Safety Derwin James is doubtful. Their whole team's hurt. You know who's not hurt for once? Mike Williams is back this week. The Miami Dolphins, Teron Armstead, questionable with a pec injury. Backup quarterback Teddy Bridgewater, questionable with a knee. Tight end Durham Smith, questionable with a quad. Wide receiver River Craycraft is doubtful with a calf. Tackle Liam Eichenberger has been designated for return from the IR. Defensive tackle Justin Zimmer is questionable. Scumbags took Justin Zimmer.
Yeah, I know.
The Minnesota Vikings, I want to know why whenever he goes on the IR, they just keep him at the top of the list every time. B.C. Johnson could have gone on the IR in week 1, and they will keep him as the most recent injury, like they're rubbing it in his face. Christian Darrisaw, offensive tackle, cleared concussion protocol, but the team will not start him today. Safety Harrison Smith is questionable with the neck. Defensive end Jonathan Bullard is on the IR with a bicep. Center Garrett Bradbury questionable with the back. That'll do it for Minnesota. New England, cornerback Jalen Mills is out with a groin. Offensive tackle Isaiah Wynn is out. Running back Damian Harris is doubtful, again with the thigh. Wide receiver Jacoby Meyer out with a concussion. Offensive tackle Trent Brown and Yadni Kajuste are questionable as well. Christian Barmore expected to return at any point. New Orleans Saints.
Do you think Tyler Huntley's worth a start?
I do this week, actually. I like Snoop Huntley.
I'm starting him in the free league because Lamar's doubtful.
New Orleans is on a bye this week. They're banged up anyways. In our Dynasty League, I told you this last night, I faced Mike Merglowski this week, and Mike is missing Jonathan Taylor, Alvin Kamara, and Cooper Kupp all this week.
You can help me a lot this week, so
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Did somebody spill something on the flag?
Where, the red?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's part of the flag.
Yeah,
It just looks weird on the actual logo itself. On the bottom side of the logo. Towards the right. Far right.
I don't know.
New York Giants Saquon Barkley is a true game time decision this week. Brandon asks, Homer from Seattle, or I would assume that's Kareem Hunt, correct? Jolie says Mike Wazowski. Yes, Mike Wazowski.
Isn't that the quarterback for the Jets this week?
No, it's Mike White.
Oh, I thought it was same guy, right?
So, I don't love either of your options here, Brandon. The only good thing is that Carolina's been really bad against running backs, and we know Seattle really likes to run the ball. Travis Homer might be the best bet because, I don't trust that they're going to get the ball into Kareem Hunt's hands.
Right.
And it's been very far and few between that he's done anything this year. Last week might have been the first week that he's had carries, and I don't know how long. He went for 56 yards. He's got a good average, but, he's pretty well trapped on that depth chart behind Nick Chubb. He literally was outsnapped, or he was literally outrushed by Anthony Schwartz and Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
So I think your best bet there is Travis Homer. I don't love the option, but at least you're going to get starting reps because Kenneth Walker is out this week.
Yeah, it would make sense.
But yeah, Saquon is a game time decision. Defensive end Leonard Williams is doubtful with a neck. Cornerback Aaron Robinson underwent surgery at the beginning of November, given a 9-month recovery time. Agreed with that, but Hunt had his most productive game against the Bengals. if you're going off of the problem is that was a team where they had no quarterback now, and I mean they have a rapist now, but
Yeah.
that's an upgraded quarterback. So I think that you're going to try to get the ball moving this week.
I would think so, yeah. You're trying to get him back into the offense, get him back into like a playing football kind of like rhythm, so.
OG Joe Lisa's dough. Saquon Barkley will play today.
All right.
Official. Damn it, Frank. New York Jets, Michael Clemens questionable with a knee and an illness. Offensive tackle Max Mitchell is out this week. Offensive tackle Cedric Ogbunhi is out with a groin. Jolie said, "You rapist."
Come
I
on,
mean,
you right.
no means no.
But additional massages is free. Oh, no. Philadelphia Eagles, C.J. Gardner-Johnson is placed in the IR. Running back Trey Sermon is questionable with illness. Not that he was going to make a difference anyways. Linebacker Sean Bradley out with a hamstring. Pittsburgh Steelers, Ahkello Witherspoon still in the IR. That's really it. Pittsburgh's banged up to hell. San Francisco 49ers, Nick Bosa is questionable with a hamstring. Joe Lisa's rub and tug. Yes, Joe, we get the reference.
Is our playoff this week for the Tiki League, or is it next week?
I think it's next week. I think all of mine are set for 14 weeks and starting in week 15.
I'm going to lose this week.
Quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo out with his foot injury. Safety Tavarius Moore. I had like 8 guys out this week, either questionable or a bye in Renee's league. I'm down to an only non-defense and kicker. No, I need to schedule. Joe, go home. Go home, Joe. You're drunk. Jen, it's that way across a lot of leagues this week. Gary just said he has like 6 guys on a bye.
Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous.
My one dynasty league, I'm actually down to like my entire bench is bye week players. Like,
That was, I mean, not me. I mean, kind of me this week, but it was me week 11, man. I had 3 of my top receivers on a bye.
defensive tackle Hassan Ridgeway is out. Yeah. San Fran's been healthier. Seattle Seahawks, DK Metcalf is expected to play. He's questionable with a hip. Running back DJ Dallas is not in line to play today, nor is running back Kenneth Walker with an ankle. I have to take him out of my lineup immediately. What's happening with Mike Williams? He's up. He's active. He's off the injury report, and he's expected to play today for the first time in weeks. Tight end Will Disley, questionable with a calf. Dude, week 14 is a killer for buys. Yeah, I don't understand what the league was doing, especially given that, week 11 there were no buys? Or week 12? Like,
Yeah.
there were no buys one of these weeks. Like, I don't understand why they're like, week 14. Screw it.
Did the Broncos have their bye already?
That's the
I know,
Chiefs.
but it's saying he had his his bye week 8, but he definitely didn't because the Chiefs said they'd be by week 8, but he had me points because he's got stats.
Yeah, Broncos would have had their bye, I think.
So I was just wondering if he's had to sit out a random week because
He's not even on the team.
No,
He's
on
tech- No, he's not. He's
on their
practice squatted.
Yeah.
I caught his ass. I remember they used to do last week with least amount of buys. Yeah, and it always used to be like week 11 was the latest bye week, and suddenly now they've tacked 3 additional weeks on. Brandon says yes.
I got enough running backs in that league.
Joe Lee, James Cook gonna have a game today. I see him taking most of the snaps second half today over Singletary. I agree with that.
Who?
I fired up James Cook this
yeah, I
week in a
tossed him
couple
my
leagues.
flex.
Singletary all day.
You are just a Singletary owner. I had to throw him in the Dynasty League this week. I actually have James Cook in my.
I know you made me mad about that.
I have
wanted
James Cook in my draft FanDuel league this week.
Made me mad when you.
We can make a trade.
Well, I'd see. Yeah.
No, you wouldn't.
What do you? I've made trades
With you.
with you and Mike
When we were drunk.
because it was a good trade.
We
Though.
were drunk.
It was a good trade though.
We were. Can't say he owns him. Not cool.
It was an alright trade.
Oh, Joe! Go! Get out! Get out now! That's not what was meant, you dick. Joe Lee's the reason the world burns.
Sometimes.
No, oftentimes. If you show up to him kicking you in the fat sack. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Akeem Hicks questionable with a foot injury. Sorry, Singletary sucks. He has a couple okay games, but he's not my favorite. But Scott Norwood was my idol, so what do I know? That's a wide right take there, Jen. Leonard Fournette questionable with a foot injury. Not that that's going to matter today. They have a very tough matchup. Tristan Wirfs doubtful with an ankle injury. Safety Antoine Winfield doubtful. If that kid could stay healthy, it would be great for him.
Oh, yeah.
Safety Mike Edwards is doubtful. Joe Lee setting the world on fire. Thanks, Joe. Is he drunk already?
He might
Did he
be.
not come down from last night? Like, he's just
I had
on
a
one.
dream that like our whole group, and including Jolie, had a VR concert, and it was all Cheap Trick, and Jolie was just laying down on the bar, like just dazing up.
A virtual reality concert for Cheap Trick?
Dude, I don't know.
Was this last night?
Yeah, it was last night.
Were you that drunk?
No,
There's going to be a keg at the Tiki Bar today, guys. It's going to be a day.
Yeah, it will be.
Tennessee Titans, David Long Jr. is on the IR. T.R. Tart is questionable with an ankle. Cornerback Trey Avery is out with a concussion. Running back Hassan Haskins is questionable with a hip. Chen Draves just tagged Renee Roberts. Joe Lee said shrooms. Joe, you didn't do shrooms.
It's Joe Lee. We never know.
No, I know for a fact he didn't do shrooms. Question. Jeffrey Simmons questionable with an ankle. Wide receiver C.J. Board is out. Cornerback Christian Fulton is out with a groin. Defensive end Danico Autry out with a knee. Holy crap, Tennessee just doesn't exist anymore. Wide receiver Treylon Burks is out with a concussion. I really hate that actually this week.
Yeah.
He had a great matchup, and now I don't trust anybody there. Washington Commanders are also on a bye. Yeah. So that'll do it there. What do you say we do a pick 'em?
Yeah. Love that. I love my pick'ems.
Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers.
The Ravens.
Really? You just don't
Yeah.
want to say Pittsburgh, huh?
No, I just don't think. I think the Ravens.
Ravens are pretty banged up. Pittsburgh's been playing decent football lately. It's going to come down to defense. I think that if the Steelers can control the clock a little bit, I think the Ravens don't stand a chance. So I'm going to go with Pittsburgh, and it's going to be close.
I'm going to go with Pittsburgh in a close game as well. Nothing against Snoop Huntley, but I just don't trust anything else offensively that they're going to run there.
They actually pass better when he's in the game.
Yes.
But that's not their style of offense, and
I'm hoping that Snoop Huntley being in the game means that both tight ends are going to have a day, because I have to start Isaiah Likely in so many leagues this week. Minnesota Vikings, Detroit Lions. I don't know what's happening here. Detroit is the 2.5-point favorite.
It's because Detroit's been scoring so many points lately. Detroit would be a playoff team if their defense could
Hold up. To be fair, Detroit would be a playoff team if they weren't injured.
Right.
Because that's what really killed them. They had a couple of those weeks with 40 points, and then Swift was hurt.
Who's the home team?
Detroit.
So I want to go Minnesota here, only because the fact that Minnesota is Minnesota seems they have 9 wins by 1 score in I think it's the fourth quarter or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that Minnesota won't fall victim. This is a trap game for them. I don't think they'll fall victim to this trap game. They very, very well could, but I think Minnesota will control the game, and I think it's going to be a very high scoring game. I think it's going to be like 42 to 38 type of game, because I think both teams are very high powered offensively. Jared Goff seems to. I wouldn't call Jared Goff a gunslinger, but he's the type of. He's like a high end game manager.
He's Blake Bortles.
Yeah, he's a high end game manager, and he seems to work well in this offense. Amon-Ra St. Brown, him click. So I think it's going to be a high scoring affair, but Vikings by a touchdown or a couple points.
Breaking news: Amari Cooper is a go today.
Yeah. All right, that's cool.
What do you think, Minnesota Detroit?
I agree with Gary. Same thing. It's going to be a high scoring game, but Minnesota, yeah.
Yeah, I think Minnesota's going to eke it out. As you alluded to, Gary, their Detroit's defense just is not. It's in shambles. So I truthfully think that Kirk Cousins is going to have a day today. And like Justin Jefferson's going to go off, stuff like that. So I'm going to go Minnesota, but
I think Jay Jetta's for at
Jay
least
Jetta,
No, I mean, who's going to go off today?
Justin Jefferson,
No, the before that.
Kirk Cousins.
Who? What do I call him? Kurt?
Kirk
His name's
Cousins.
Kirk
I
Cousins.
think he'll have at least 2 touchdowns. Jay Jetta's.
Jay Jettas, yeah. I'm gonna pile so many prop bets on Jay Jetta today. But yeah, it's not gonna shock me at all when that game's like 42-35 final. Like there's gonna be no defense.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, Tennessee. Tennessee is the favorite here.
Jaguars.
I'm going Jags as well.
Who's the home team?
Tennessee.
I'm going to go with Tennessee only for the fact that Jacksonville is very inconsistent. They beat the Ravens and then got throttled by, who was it last week?
Detroit throttled them.
Yeah. I know Detroit's Detroit, but they're very inconsistent, and Tennessee is also one of those inconsistent teams. Tennessee could shit the bed and only score 10 points, or they're going to blow you out by 40. So I think you're going to see more. Mike Vrabel's a well-coached team, so I think Tennessee is going to be well-coached against Jacksonville this week, and it's a division game, so I think Jacksonville will lose.
Jason?
What? I said the Jaguars, didn't I?
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Jags as well. I think the turning point on that is having Trevor Lawrence active.
Yeah.
I think he wants back what happened last week because he should have had such a better day than he did have. And I know the toe injury kind of thwarted that, but I think that Jacksonville comes back and wins this game. I want to say they beat the Titans early in the year too.
They might.
Or they haven't played Tennessee yet. This is their first game against the Titans, but I think this is it. I think they would beat them. Philadelphia Eagles, New York Giants. This is pretty simple.
Yeah,
Eagles.
The Eagles.
Eagles.
It's there's not much to it. The Giants, the allure has come off. The Giants are not as good.
They're not the Cinderella team everybody thought they were.
New York Jets, Buffalo Bills.
The Bills.
Going to be the homer. The Bills should have beaten them the last time, but shoulda, coulda, woulda. They're going to beat the brakes off them this time.
I hope best case scenario here goes in our favor, and we see the Chargers beat the Dolphins later because I believe that would leapfrog them over the Jets in the wild card spot at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to go with the Bills. It's interesting. Vegas lines are moving in the opposite direction now because Buffalo was a 10.5 point favorite originally. Now they're down to 9.5.
I think that's because we lost a couple starters.
No, but I'm still going Buffalo. Cleveland, Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
It's weird that it's only a 4-point favorite for Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati blows the doors off.
I'm
Yeah,
going
I do
with
too.
Cleveland because Joe Burrow's 0-3 against Cleveland in his career.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting note. I'm going to go with Cincy here, though. Houston, Dallas.
Dallas.
Dallas,
pretty
by a
easy
million.
one.
This might be the biggest spread I've ever seen.
Was it like a 15?
17.
Jeez.
That's what I have for who will score the most points is Dallas, and who will score the least is Houston. So
Yeah,
this week.
I tapered that line on my parlay for today, and I think I gave you, sir. I played Dallas minus 20.5. So like I have them winning by 3 touchdowns all day. Kansas City, Denver.
Kansas
Again,
City.
should be.
It should be Denver, or I'm sorry, it should be Kansas City, but I can see it being close just because Denver's got a solid
Their defense has been
Yeah.
phenomenal, and they've been banged up all
But
day.
Russell Wilson, he can't.
Is worthless.
He's worthless, yeah.
Kansas City.
Yeah, it should be the
He
Chiefs.
makes
but
hot dogs and cereal when he cooks right now, so.
hot dogs and cereal. You're being nice now. I think he took a ramen packet, put it in the microwave, forgot to put any water in there.
He makes fart noodles.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Those fart noodles were delicious. I feel bad. I just talked about putting your ramen noodles in the microwave without water. And Jen, who was in listening earlier, she was known for doing that when we worked with her at ICE.
Oh, yeah?
On more than one occasion, she forgot the water and burnt up a whole pack of noodles. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, San Francisco 49ers.
I'm going to go with the Niners.
Even with Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy looked
Yeah.
very poised last
I had
week.
Niners.
Looked like he was a sturdy vet in there. Did not look phased against a very good Dolphins defense. They blitzed him a lot. He was able to get the ball out quick. I like the Niners.
On Frank's show this past week, I went Frank mode because every time there's some random no-name quarterback, Frank suddenly has a raging hard on for him. So I went, I think the legend of Brock Purdy will be born. But I agree, Niners.
Yeah,
They have a
Niners.
nickname for him in the Niners locker room.
Big Dick Brock.
Yeah.
Carolina Panthers, Seattle Seahawks.
Seahawks.
See, this is a little bit tougher because Seattle's banged up.
Seattle's banged up, but Carolina is just, they're poo-poo cheeks right now.
Darnold looked good last week, actually.
I know, but overall, they don't have anything.
Poo-poo cheeks. Like fart noodles and poo-poo cheeks.
I just realized we have our cameras on a can of chili.
Yes. Yes.
We forgot the tripod today.
Your chili came in clutch. Derwin James will not play in this next game here. Miami and LA.
I hate to say it because I want the Chargers to win, but Miami.
Yeah, I don't want Miami to win, but LA is, they're frauds. They cannot pull out wins for the life of them. The only way I can see them winning is if they just blow the doors off and their defense kind of does what San Francisco did last week. And they have Bosa too, right? They have...
Yes. No, isn't their Bosa still on the IR? Their Bosa's on the IR still.
But they have Mack. Don't they have Khalil Mack?
Yes.
So I wonder if they can get a pass rush on Tua. That's the only way they beat the Dolphins. But the Dolphins are just too electric for that defense.
Losing Derwin James is going to be a huge hit to them, so I'm going to go with the Dolphins as well. And Monday night, Arizona and New England.
I hate to say it again, but the Pats, because I don't want the Pats to win either, but
Was it double XP weekend?
it actually is because it's we're getting around Christmas, so they do it like every weekend.
I think this is the time of year where we're going to see New England crumble. So I'm going to go with Arizona.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Arizona on the upset as well. But guys, I think that'll do it. Thank you for jumping on today. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Thank you so much.
We're going to close it out. We had one more watcher. I think it was Brandon over there. But guys, thank you guys so much. Anything you guys want to add?
No, just thank you as always.
Shout out to our sponsor, Kyle, over at Chicken Dippin'. Hit him up online, chickendippin.com. Use code 716. Or be a giant mark like Joe Lee and drill through yours and put it on a necklace. Whatever you want to do. But guys, until next time, that'll do it. You keep on looking for those fantasy beasts.